Have you heard of the new addition to the Go for Donnie podcast? I haven't either, but it's called Switch to Channel 2. That is where Donnie will get to ask his guests some questions so you, the listener, get to know them better. And remember, hashtag HTFU.
Hey guys, welcome into Switch to Channel 2. I'm your host, Donnie. That is Justin Tucker. Tuck. Hey, Tuck, so Switch to Channel 2 is a show that we came up with because when you're on set, you'd always reach back and switch to Channel 2 when you had some chatter to have. So that's exactly
But it
what
was
we're
never
doing.
really 2.
It was never 2, right? There's always some
Yeah.
code, like 2 meant 5 or
That's right.
I don't know. I never had time when I was ADing, man. I was always flipping through that thing really quick and back, but people always would listen in. So that's what this little show is all about.
That is a funny position. I never really thought about it. Is like, because your walkie's never in like a place where you can see it. So how many people are like twisting their backs looking for that, because it's a micro switch.
It's a little tiny thing. You can't fucking see either, man. So it's by feel. It's straight up by braille, man. It's like, or run the dials and come back. Yeah.
That's exactly what I would do. It's like 1, 2, or crank it all the way to 16 and back 2. Yeah. Like 7 would be a nightmare.
They're like, some walkies had 16 channels, some had 17. Like, so you never, you was on the wrong one. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to have a little chatter to get to know you a little better. I can't thank you enough for coming on again, Tuck. It's good to see you. Like we said before, it's been like 12 fucking years, something like that.
Yes. Yeah, at least.
Crazy. Last time I saw you, I think you were it was down in Venice, probably.
Yeah. Oh, Louisiana?
No, in Venice.
Monroe.
No, in Venice.
Oh, California.
Yeah.
They where at Hanano's?
Either there or the Whaler. When I've waved to you.
Yeah. I lived right next door for.
I'd be like, Tuck, what's up? Hey, Tucker. Hey, throw me some peanuts. So now where are you about now? I'm
back in Connecticut. During COVID, I moved back to Connecticut. That's where I'm from, right outside New York. And I set up shop here. I have a full production company. Still continue to do TV, but also have, a thriving YouTube business going too.
That is so cool. And the company, is that FWRD Content?
Yeah, Forward Content. Yep.
So that's your name of your production company.
That's the name of your production company. I started with Art Lyons. I don't know if you know Art Lyons.
I do. How do I know Art?
We started it probably. He's a EP in the business and works in development. Really great guy. But he got a staff job at I think one of the big companies, and he kind of just said, hey, I can't run a company anymore. So him and I parted ways, all on great terms. He's an amazing person, but he had to get the 9 to 5 where I had a little more freedom, where I didn't have to. So I just took the company and ran with it, and we've been
good for
growing.
You.
Yeah,
wow.
We started in 2014.
Wow, That's awesome! Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Man, I can't believe. So not a lot of people will pick up and move, and go back, and let alone go back home to where you're from. I mean, that's so taboo to some people, right?
It was tough at first, man. I think I came back here when was COVID?
2020. Yeah, I don't know. Such a weird blip. Yeah, 2020, I think.
I left LA in 2020, and then when I first came back, it was tough, man. There's no industry here, right? It's like, very small, and if there is, it's insurance company, content, things like that, like just working in very stock kind of production world, and it was tough to stake a claim here, and I figured the only way to do it was to create my own content and get it out. So that's what we've been doing. I still work in the industry. Like I said, I'm doing a Netflix show, and I have another show coming up, and just been luckily super busy with that, but really being able to build up a content company that's not for the cable companies at the same time has been really cool.
And you're your own boss.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Dude, that's congratulations, man. It's going to feel so good to be able to go to networks now with your content. You're selling your project to them. You're not the middleman. Right. You're not just running some show for someone, a little more vested. Yep. I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah. Luckily, I had been selling shows for a while. I sold my first show when I was like in 2008, to Sci-Fi. And that's what kind of made me become a showrunner. I was story producer and field guy, but I was well versed in development, post, field, and kind of the whole industry. And then I sold the show, and then I became an EP. And then from there, I started doing, show running stuff. And, that career has been amazing. I've got to do some really amazing shows, some successful, some not successful. You know what I mean? You never know. Yeah. But using that boot camp, or not even boot camp, that 22 years of experience, making content, I took it and I was like, now I want to do it where I don't need a buyer. I want to do it consumer direct, right? Yeah. There's no middleman. I want to make content and let the consumer decide, because, with these platforms, you're direct to consumer. There's no, because what I used to do is we make content, we give it to the network. They do all the marketing. They do all the, the ad sales. They do all the upfronts. Now that you're direct to consumer, you do it all. You got to come up with your own marketing plan, figure out ways, to interest people. And then, but what's also cool is on these platforms is you have a second by second data of who's watching, where they're watching, instant. And people that are responding to things, you make more of that, and you keep going after that. It's like they like when you talk about this, so you make more of that. And it's just doing the research, staying up on it, and and forcing yourself to be successful in it, and then it becomes second nature. So
right. Well, I'll go back to you being a showrunner, and I'm going to toot your horn a little, because I talk. Thanks, you're welcome. I talk not shit. I have a problem with the way our industry is set up, and the structure on how you become a manager. I think it's flawed, because I've worked with way too many showrunners that might be creatively brilliant, might be a good producer, but they're horrible at managing people. And so they're groomed, not even groomed. If you're groomed, you'd be like going through, leadership classes and, teaching how to manage people on top of being able to produce and write scripts. So they elevate this showrunner to now manage a whole production. And usually they just don't have good management skills. So cut to you had really good management skills. I think that's what made you a successful showrunner. So, going back to having a good time on set and working with someone that actually gets it, which you got it, and dealing with, not an easy production to deal with, the Robertsons weren't that easy.
Well, they it wasn't, they were difficult. There was just a lot of them, and they all had different things going on. So mostly, calendar for them was really hard, because speaking engagements, they were busy people and they were very successful. So, but as far as difficult, they weren't difficult as people at all. They were very, very very loving and very supportive of the project. But, dealing with, 15 people's calendars is tough. It's a big cast. But yeah, whenever I start a show I look at it as a project, right? An all encompassing project. Like you're building a building, and, it's like, you got to know not only the architect, who's the creative side of it, you also need to know the engineers who actually make that design work. Yep. And I think leaning on your EICs and your production management, and empowering them will help you too, because, they're the management arm of what you're doing. You're supervising it, but you have to understand what they're doing. I did a few shows where back in the day when I was, production manager, and, so I got to realize what, everything from time cards and per diem and all that, which can make your crew happy or sad if those are late, which affect the whole thing. So understanding soup to nuts how a production works really helps as a showrunner. Not so much just being the creative force, but also understanding that, I think, really helped me in my career understand it. So
that's great leadership right there, Tuck. That's a lot of I'm serious, man. Some of the best leaders come out of the military. I just said that because I was in the military, and I think I took that.
That's right. I did know that
from the Army. Yeah, and you're going to know what you're asking of that person to do, right? You're going to know what it takes to do. You're not going to have unreal expectations, which clearly you didn't, and you don't. So, good on you.
Well, as well as I do, one day late on per diem can send shockwaves through the entire system.
Yes, I believe in paying a crew on time and feeding a crew on time. And very simple, basic things that can make them happy, right?
Absolutely.
Very simple. And as soon as you don't, but I will say, man, there's something about crew. I don't know what it is. what the fuck is it with you, crew? I'm talking to all of you out there. When you get to set, it's like you don't know what to do. You need someone to handhold you the whole way. And from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, my phone is slammed, going busy from stupid, like some of the dumbest things too. I'm talking where I'm like, come on, you're a fucking adult. Let's just put the big boy pants on and be an adult. So yeah,
I think where that comes from is if you can alleviate them from having to do thinking moment by moment, you can get what you hired them for, the art that the, camera guys, DPs who, we call difficult, which I don't see it that way, but
no,
but if you can literally take the pressure of where their food's coming from, rides back and forth to the hotel, just literally where they can just drop things, they feel
taken care
empowered. They feel taken care of. So they'll come to set and really, put forth what you hired them for. And it's like, because when you bring the DP, audio is either there or it's not. There's better audio mixers than the other, but audio is like, you either have a guy who's competent and can, I've never been like, oh, well, that's a real artisty sound guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's either there or it's not. It's either got hits.
Wow, did you hear that? It's like he tweaked that knob.
They may disagree with me and hate me for saying that, but when it comes to the DP, that can make or break your project, right? You can have this great concept, but it doesn't quite look premium, or it doesn't quite feel through the lens the story you're trying to tell. So, taking care of the crew sometimes allows them to focus on that. Then,
it's important.
I need a car.
Oh God,
that's what the name of the podcast should be for the crew guys.
I need a car. We even came up on the show we did this last summer. We had a whiteboard, and then we had hooks, and so we had, whatever you're done with the vehicle, you put the keys on the hook, and you write on there if there's any gas in it, how full, if it needs gas.
That's too much, man. That's too much.
Man. It worked for a while. It did work for a while, but then a few of those days are like, hey, where can I get the car? I'm like, I'm not even there. I don't know where the car is. Like, consult the whiteboard. Who's
worse? We're talking about crew right now, but who is really worse? Is the crew guys, or is it the producers, the underling producers?
I'm going to say crew, because usually there'll be a vehicle for the producers and they kind of stick together, and
that's true. Yeah, I run it around, so they always have one available.
Yeah,
crew guys have to fight for every
they're fighting for only a couple.
It's true.
So,
true.
But I try to hook them up. I get it. Hey, so I forgot I got to ask you some questions. I actually wanted to know. Fun. You mentioned, that's good. It's all about fun talking. You mentioned that you started in the industry at 19. I was going to ask about that and how you got started and your first gig was.
I did. My first gig was Ghost Hunters, back when Pilgrim was just getting going. I think they had Ghost Hunters and they were just starting. Oh, they had Orange County Choppers or American Chopper, Ghost Hunters. There was like probably 30 people in the company, and I started with Pilgrim Films and Television. Yeah, I was like 19. Yeah, I had just left. I just quit school and not high school. I just quit college and and
I was on my 7th year, and I said, you know what, time to move on.
And I used to watch Jackass, and I wanted to do the show Jackass. I just wanted to be on the show Jackass, not be on it, but work on that show. So a friend of mine who went to Emerson, Dave Hobbs. Who Dave? We ended up going.
Dave.
We went to high school together, Dave. And he went to Emerson, graduated, got a job on Ghost Hunters as a camera guy. So he called me up and he's like, "Hey, you want a job?" And I started as a PA on that show, and then it was all from there. So we were young and going hard.
Was Eddie Barbini there back then?
Eddie Barbini was there, I think, or he came in slightly after with Dirty Jobs. That was when Ultimate Fighter and Dirty Jobs and Eddie Rowetter, and it just kept getting bigger, and Kathleen Burns, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger while I was there. Because I did about 10 shows for Craig in a row, and then I left and I went to Next Entertainment, Mike Fleiss's company, and did The Fat Bachelor, called More to Love. That one was fun. It was a co-production between Mike Fleiss and Sally Ann Salzano.
Of course.
From 495, and Sally's company 495 did the field, and Mike did post. I worked for Mike in post, but that was Fat Bachelor. It was insane.
It would have been funnier if it was like one of the Bachelor Nation shows, where the Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise would be a bad bachelor.
Yeah, exactly. They called it More to Love. It was on Fox. I think it went like 4 episodes, and they were just like, enough. Because the problem with it is this guy was like a Nebraska Cornhusker football guy, like a O-line, and he was like 350 pounds, big guy, really charismatic. But then they brought in all these, overweight women who never really had anybody pay attention to him. And he was like a fox in a hen house. He was just going from each girl being like, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever saw. And they're like crying in their interviews, just being like, I've never had anyone talk. It just became like too much. Like every single one of them crying. Yeah, and he's hooking up with them all. And like this is the wrong angle for this. It's just it looks sad. But yeah, Fox kind of pulled the plug on it. Mike Darnell was like, yeah, no thanks.
I never even knew that existed. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, nobody did.
It's amazing the content that and the sizzles and the pilot presentations that have been made and never.
I always said it'd be a great YouTube channel. Call it like Reality Boneyard or something.
The recast, the cast of what's that island? The Misfits.
Yeah, exactly. It's like stuff that never aired or was canceled, and you just get the rights to it, and whoever owns it, you share the revenue for that specific show, and you just inundate it with reality shows that were canceled.
That's a brilliant idea.
Or sizzles that, because the sizzles we've all made.
Oh my God, it's so suggestive. Yeah. It's like, well, no, just put your head, no, don't think about that, what you're seeing. Just think about this.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
I did a sizzle one time where these tattoo artists by day, dress up like superheroes and fight crime by night. It's like the fucking, crazy. They were always like,
I would like to see
like the twist. You always had to have the twist.
Their outfits would have been something. Their superhero outfits.
Yeah, they were really talented artists, but they weren't tough guys, right? So they dress up in their superhero outfits, and by the way, they can't really fight crime. They're not like, so they're going out, and it became them just putting like drunk chicks in cabs. That was like what they did. But like, if there was a real robbery going on, they're like, "You stop!" And they'd be like, "Fuck you!"
They go run after him. No.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. So, I mean, do you think the industry is going to bounce back at all, or do you think it's changed for? So,
the industry will follow the money. The industry will follow the money. It always has. There's two things. I think that there's a consumer, right? The insatiable need for content. That there'll always be a need for content. And I think that, with YouTube's stronghold of 72% of the revenue, for ads right now, I think it's got to level off, right? I think there's going to be some sort of, I don't know if cable, what you're seeing is a consolidation of cable companies, right? With the Discovery mergers with Warner Brothers and HBO. And so you're going to see a lot of consolidation. You're seeing the big three letting go of, NBC letting go of MSNBC, USA, all their subsidiaries where they have to stand on their own. So if they can't survive on their own, they'll start closing down. So you're going to start seeing obviously less cable networks, but there'll still be a need for content, I think, on what's remaining, right? So I don't know if it'll ever be the way it was with, but I think that there will be, there's always going to be ad dollars for it, right? There's going to be, it's going to wind up somewhere, and that's where the industry will go. And I think we're ahead of it by a few years with what we're doing. And I think if you just keep doing it, there's, I think you'll be in good shape.
Thanks. I mean, like I said, it's all new to me. I'm only been doing this for a year. I still don't, I'm trying to understand what I'm doing, but I don't think I do. Do
you do shorts and all that?
I do shorts. I break them up. I have Opus clips. Cool. I'm always breaking up clips and trying to post those, daily to all my social medias, and then on YouTube shorts, on feeds, all those. Yeah.
Yeah. And in doing trending stuff too, is looking at like 5 reasons why you shouldn't work in the business. It's like boom, and then just selecting those things. So then, those things get shared more and things like that, or 5 worst lunches on a production set, and you just
That's good.
Doing those top 5 lists and things like that, where you have sound ups from your show, rather than just lifting off, unless it's really profound of what the people are talking about. It's just content for content. I think you take like 3 or 4 really good sections, but then watch what's trending on TikTok and watch what's trending on Reels from Instagram, and what's going, because each one's different, right?
Right.
What the migration of audience between the two. You might have a short that does gangbusters on YouTube, but it does 1,000 views on Insta. And
it's crazy.
Like, what? What? And it's the exact same clip. So really getting to know the platforms. TikTok's big into those, questions, or, top 5, or the best way to get, leading it in with like the best way to XXX. And then you have a sound up from the show, and keeping them good and tight and short, 15, 20 seconds. So they watch them again because they don't think it's over. Those are good tricks too. Is like, cutting it a little shorter than you would have, because the shorter it is, they'll watch it. Not even, they should feel like they found something out, but not making it too long where they scroll before it's done. I know you've probably done reels and shorts where you've watched it again because you didn't quite catch something, you watch it again to see if you caught it, like having stuff like that. And then, if one the algorithm really locks into stuff like that, because, people are watching 110% of something that you're making. So,
Good tip. Thank you, Tucker.
Yeah.
Tucker's tip here on Switch Channel 2.
Tip of the day.
Just
it's worked for me. That's all I can say.
Dude, no,
if it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry.
I'll take anything that I can get. Cause I mean, like you, I mean, I do everything myself. I produce it, edit it, do all the marketing. I mean, everything myself. So I have to come up with creative ways to get it out there, and just being lazy of, cutting it up and sending it out is not doing it anymore.
Well, I do most of my research while I'm on the toilet. So
nice.
That's where everybody does their research. They're always scrolling.
Yeah,
on the toilet.
Best thoughts are done. Dropping kids off too. Hey, so we talked briefly about your channel. Can you tell me more about your channel and the show, Poppy's Planet?
Yeah.
So, season 2 premieres.
Season 2 is done. Season 3. We're working on season 3 right now.
Shit.
We have 30 episodes in 1 year. Yeah. So I mean, like we were talking about earlier, is YouTube controls the younger generation, and all my daughter watches is YouTube, and she was watching Blippi and Miss Rachel, and I'm all like, this is what you like? I could make a way better show than this. And I always wanted to make a kid show since I was a kid, right? Like a Pee Wee Herman, or I always love those type of shows. So I ended up meeting this woman named Erin. She was doing live performances at schools, locally. And I met with her and instantly knew, I was like, oh, this woman's she's got the light, inside. Like, she is the kids just stare at her like she's the second coming. Yeah. So I was like, let's go try to shoot a pilot. So we shot a pilot really quickly. And from there it just took off, and it's called Poppy's Planet. It's on YouTube, Poppis Planet on YouTube.
Make sure we throw that up there, right there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. In a year, we have 60 million views.
What?
We just crossed 60 million views.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we started a music channel. We are doing a live tour. I just got done writing a musical. So we're going to do Poppy's Planet Live.
I'm sorry, what? You just wrote a musical?
Yeah, I just got done writing a musical. Yeah.
Dude, in your free time or what? Tucker, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just got done. It took me a couple months, but I got through it. It's so Poppy's Planet Live's going on tour. Our merchandising is taken off. We launched our first product. It sold out in 8 minutes.
Well done. Jeez.
Yeah.
What product was it?
I actually shut the site down because I realized that I can't ship 1,000 things, right? It's like we had the stock, but then it's like, oh, now I have to box and put a note in. So we shipped it all, and then I shut the site down. I'm like, I need to bring people in, and we need some funding to bring people in. And then also we're launching an SEL program, social emotional learning program. That's a subscription service for in school. So we're bringing Poppy into the classroom.
Nice.
And so schools can do it. So yeah. So
wow.
So we just got our first round of funding. Well, it's coming in, and we're going to hire heads for each one of those departments. The live tour, the merchandising, and then the school thing. And meanwhile, I'll be heading up the content for the YouTube channel and beyond. But yeah, we've gotten offers from Sony. We've turned it down. We've gotten offers from.
No shit.
Yeah, I don't want a boss. You know what I mean? It's like we're
you're on the right track, bro. But you're on the right track. You know, if people are sniffing around, companies are sniffing around, you're really doing right.
Yeah,
you know,
they're sniffing around. Absolutely. In the YouTube pays us fine. You know, our numbers are high enough where we can pay the light bill and everyone makes a little money, and every week we get a well.
Is that through the partnership?
YouTube partnership, yeah. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, and then you hit the subscribers are easy. You can hit 1,000.
I know. I'm at 22,000, 23,000. That's easy.
The hours are hard.
Yeah.
4,000 hours. I think right now, the first 4 months we were chasing that hours. Tick, tick, tick. It took us 4 months to hit the 4,000 hours, but once we did, it kind of just skyrocketed. I think we have 1 million hours now watched on the. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
So you're getting more hours from long form content than short form.
Yeah. So we do. Okay. Yeah. So the hours. Yeah, exactly. The long form, but we use the short form to drive traffic, right? So, we started doing, and what I noticed is that, the people really like dinosaurs. So there were kids who were responding to dinosaurs. So we made more dinosaur content, and that, that kind of perpetuated it too. So, yeah. So it's been great. We're also bringing in new talent. We're gonna have a science guy on there. We're gonna
smart.
Yeah, we're gonna do a lot of the channel and the sub channels. We'll have a lot. The goal is to build it into a brand, right? And a children's brand with a very trusted. The other thing we targeted were parents, right, instead of kids, because there's two ingredients to me for a successful kids show: is moms have to trust it, or parents have to trust it, and kids have to actually like it. Right, because I don't know if you remember growing up, the stuff that your parents trusted and put on for you weren't exactly what you wanted to watch all the time, right?
Oh, so yeah. I'm a latchkey kid. We didn't have that.
Gotcha. Yeah. I remember growing up, some of the things, I didn't really like 3-2-1 Contact or Sesame Street, but, we watched it, and, you watched it because you were kind of forced to, but so I did a Mr. Rogers meets Pee Wee Herman meets, just imagination and fun, but also learning at the same time and moms can walk away, or I say moms, but I mean parents can walk away and let their kids watch YouTube without having to worry, what's going on next,
So. That's so hard, YouTube and being online. And I mean, my content, not that there's any X-rated content on my shows, but a couple of words fly here and there, and that's enough to make it not friendly for kids. So you have to check that box.
Yeah.
You miss out on that audience.
The audience. So but you don't want to check that box for something like you. And here's why: you're not allowed to comment on YouTube if it's checked for kids. So that can hurt your algorithm. We're literally by shares, only shares, because you can't comment on our content. Zero. It's all shut down. So all of our generation that we've done with the algorithm has been by people sharing it and in word of mouth. So, and I think not checking for kids it gets you 14 and up. It's anyone younger, I don't think would be interested in what we're doing right now. So I think it helps you to not check that for sure.
Got it. All right. Yeah. There's so many things to learn and keep up with YouTube. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I do all the tutorials. I watch all the new updates, what their new laws are, because they're constantly updating their payout laws. And COPA was a big one for kids programming, the COPA laws that came in, and I just keep an eye on it. So yeah, but so staying up on YouTube's, and they do algorithm changes all the time.
Yeah, I try to keep up on those videos. It seems like they're always changing it. It's always changing it.
Yep. So staying up on that, and it doesn't change too much, but it'll be an update where they have an AI service for partners where you can go on and use the AI tool to see what's trending. So in your tags and your hashtags and your tags and your titling and your thumbnails, it'll kind of generate. It won't generate the actual description, but it'll give you the keywords for that content and what it should link to. They have a new thing, YouTube, where you're allowed to upload 3 thumbnails, and it'll algorithm test each one of the thumbnails.
Oh, that's for long form. Yes.
For long form, yep.
But short form, you have to do it still. Yeah. I think I tried doing it for my phone, but I think you have to have something as well to be able to do it even on your mobile app.
I don't know that you can't. You can only change your thumbnail on Shorts from the mobile app. You can't, but you can only upload thumbnails because the short thumbnail is just a select from the video.
Yeah,
right? You can't upload like a Photoshop.
Yeah.
But in the app, on the long form, over 3 minutes or over a minute and minute 30 now, you can upload 3 thumbnails and it'll test them, and then it'll tell you which one to use. So.
Do you think so? You mentioned those keywords. I love talking about this because it's because this is what I deal with. And now I use Cast Magic, and that will pull whenever I throw a clip in there, or a video, podcast, whatever. It pulls, the description, whatever I want. Just like I think you're saying on YouTube. But would the
that's
YouTube
great
one be?
That's a third-party app. YouTube's got its own now.
Got it.
YouTube's
it'd be beneficial to use YouTube's because they're the ones. Yeah. Okay.
It's firsthand information. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
I think the other ones are an aggregate of what other people are using that app for. I don't think it pulls from the internet. So it's like all the people that are using that app and describing their thing, it's within that app, and then it generates those for you. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the YouTube is pushing that, because you never know with YouTube, like something in the news, like, God forbid the fires that are going on right now that are terrible. But that might be YouTube, you know what I mean? That might be locked onto that. Not that I would ever use that, but if you had a news piece that you wanted to push out, it might tell you, it's like, don't use fire, use,
Palisades relief
or something. Yeah, exactly. And I just use that because that's what's in the news right now. But but yeah, you're direct with YouTube on that. So
now, is that one more question about that, and I'll move on. Is that YouTube partnership? You get the AI, or is that even without the partnership, you can use the AI tool?
I'm not 100% sure because I don't have a non-partnership thing. They just gave it to we unlocked it, and it's under. Hold on.
I'll have to look. I want to say I saw it there somewhere, but
I'll let you know off channel exactly where it is. The YouTube's a good one for right now. It's the only thing really paying. You know what I mean? Outside of brand sponsorships, YouTube's RPM is once you hit that threshold, it trumps TikTok and Instagram and all the others. Their RPM and CPMs are way higher.
Wow. Well, it's definitely been my focus is YouTube. My channel on YouTube, and then using TikTok and feeds and Instagram to try to market and push people to it. But that's tech, man. So speaking of technology, Tucker, I wanted to ask, since you're on the East Coast, what's your take on all these UAPs and these drones, man?
I just wrapped a show for Discovery Channel not too long ago, called Alien Encounters Factor.
What?
Factor Fiction. Yeah, I'm a big alien guy.
I fucking love those shows, dude. I have them on all the time. I love this shit.
No kidding. So I'll have to tell you off channel, but I worked right after Duck. I went and got a staff job for Ridley Scott, and I was ran their television department. Ridley and Tony Scott at a place called Skip Films, and so I had this guy came in and wanted to meet Ridley, and they kind of pushed the meeting, because Ridley directed Alien. They kind of pushed the meeting off on me, and I sat there for 3 hours talking to this guy. He claimed he was a future human. He worked for Raytheon Black Technologies. He had all the credentials, and he told me stuff that will change your life.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, if 2% of what he said is true, it would change the world as we see it. But a lot of stuff is coming in, the anti-gravitic, how the crafts and things like that. So I think, I don't know. Do you watch the Sean Ryan podcast?
I think I may have seen clips.
So the Sean Ryan podcast.
Oh yeah, Sean Ryan. Yeah, Sean Ryan. Yeah.
So he had a guest on the Tesla truck bomber who blew up the Tesla truck at the Trump Tower. He wrote emails to all the top podcasters And before he did it, claiming that what we're seeing in New Jersey, and it's been going on for years, is anti-gravitic technology, and it's a display of force from China. We've had it since the 40s, since Roswell, and the China now has it, and they're showing it's a show of strength. I think a lot of the stuff you're seeing is, people are mistaking it planes and things like that, but the real ones that can't be described, they're being launched from a ship or a submarine off our coast, and it's China showing us that they have anti-gravity technology.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah. So, but borrowed from alien technology.
God, what about the UAPs, the orbs?
So the orbs, I mean, I got a little down that rabbit hole with Willow, about Willow and unlocking the multiverse. So yeah, apparently it might have ripped something to allow those orbs to come from another dimension. Another dimension meaning another parallel universe, and they're the evolution of what consciousness is in a parallel universe, and they're coming through now because there's obviously and they're able to do it, and they know that we've kind of realized that there's parallel universes. I'm gonna sound like a nut, but I just going down these rabbit holes.
I love this shit. I mean, I love watching it. I have an open mind. About everything. I believe you should, especially now, where things just are just starting to add up a little bit more now than they did in the 80s or 90s.
100%. And so we shot that show in Roswell at a bar in Roswell, and it was basically the premise is people from around the country send in their evidence that they have, and we send it out to experts, and they come in, they sit down at a bar over a drink, and then we kind of explain, is it fact or fiction? Like, can it be explained or can it not? Well, we in the first episode, we had a guy who is a geologist who's a metal detector. He likes to go out and find metals and relics and things. Well, he metal detected the Roswell crash site, and he found scraps of metal, like little scraps of metal when he was out there, and he used his what he knows about geology for like the hydraulic system, where it rains like over 80 years, where would things wash to? So he kind of tracked it down by the elevation of this riffle in the rocks, almost like a gold riffle. When water runs over, the heavy things fall and the water runs over it. So he went and metal detected all this riffling, like off downslope from the crash site, and he found these little scraps of metal, and he sent them to us, and we had them tested. We sent them out to 2 universities, and they came back as off-planet isotopes of aluminum.
Jeez.
Not found on this planet. So, and they also came back as gone through extreme heat and or an explosion. So there's no reason for off-planet metals, the scraps of aluminum, to be at the site. And this guy is like, he has no interest really in alien. He's a geologist. He found it. He read our listing and sent it in. And so, yeah.
That's the best. It's just reporting on the facts. It's like, this is a fact. This is what I found. It's a fact. It's not from here.
Exactly. And that's all we could say. It was like, we don't know what it came from, but it had no reason to be, and there's no reason another civilization, because the other thing is they were like almost a little bit thicker than aluminum foil, but it was stiff. You couldn't bend it. And it was pure aluminum. And if it was pure aluminum, is soft.
Yeah.
And we don't use pure aluminum for anything. It's all alloys, right? It's because we had for structural, as humans, we use, metal alloys with aluminum. So it's more rigid, and our aluminum is very rigid because it's got other metals in it, nickel and things like that. But this was 100% pure aluminum with the rigidity of a metal alloy. Yeah. So it could have been the skin or the superstructure of an alien craft. So,
and this show, is this a new show coming out?
No, it aired on Discovery.
Oh,
Discovery proper. It aired like a few months ago.
Oh man, okay. Well, we'll have to make sure.
It was a really good show. It was really fun to work on because we didn't we didn't go for the tinfoil hat type stuff. It was just like, and we, you know, there were some kooks obviously, and there was some people who, you know, just wanted answers, you know.
Oh, it's such a fun show or type of show to work on because you're a little more vested because you're interested. You're not making shit up. You want to know just like everyone else, you know?
Yep. Yeah. We want to know too. We want to know what it's also a collection of evidence, right? You see, you know, you can weed through, you know, the shitty stuff, but then also see stuff that nobody's ever seen before. Like, hey, I captured this, you know. And we were cross-referencing, you know, with, you know, Starlink and all the databases. You know, I saw this light at this time. Well, there was a Starlink satellite going over your place at that exact time on that exact day because everything's logged, right? You know, so.
Hey, I've seen those Starlink ripping. The first time I saw them, I'm like, what the fuck are those? They're like, Starlink. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, all right. I'll stand down. I won't get all EBGB on me. Oh, man, that's awesome. Well, we'll have to make sure we check that out. So what's next for you, Tuck? What do you got coming up?
So I mean, I'm doing a Shark Week show for Netflix right now that airs. I call it Shark Week, but Netflix I think wants a piece of the Discovery Shark Week pie, so they
of course they want it, right? They want to take on the whole world.
Greenlit a bunch of shark content. Yep. So I'm working with you remember Devin?
Dude, seriously? I'm so make sure you said hi because Devin's going to come on the show.
Oh, great! Yep.
Yeah,
him and I are doing a show together with Kevin Bartel.
I remember. Kevin. Yeah, Kevin. Doesn't he have something going on down in the South Bay? Some soccer thing?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He's got a soccer.
It just opened. They delayed the opening.
He's diversifying too. You know.
I like it. I know he posted something about guys getting together and playing some ball again. Yeah. I'm like, I haven't played since the pandemic, and I can't wait to knock the ball. Awesome. But Devin and I worked. Obviously,
he was on Duck. Devin was on Duck,
on Duck, and then we did Finding Hitler's U-Boat. We went to Turks and Caicos and got quarantined for 14. We got quarantined for 14 days and left. Dude,
because of COVID,
bro. We went on a dive boat. I was on the dive boat for like 5 days. Got back on shore and were quarantined until I went to the airport. I didn't even see the fucking the beach. It sucked.
Wow.
So no, we did not find Hitler's U-boat that trip. It's still elusive, that U-boat of Hitler.
It would be a pile of rust at this point.
Yeah, it's something out there. So clearly he's going to be diving and doing some camera work for you.
Yep.
On this shark show.
Yeah, it's actually Devin's show. So
it is.
Yeah, it's Devin. Yeah, it's Devin and Kev's show. I'm just helping out. I'm consulting on it. So
even better. Okay. Well, I'll have to make sure I get him on quick so we can talk about that as well. I was literally thinking about him just last night. So I wanted to say that I was going to have you on and to get him booked because we chat every once in a while. So,
awesome. I mean, I'm talking to him right after this. So.
Tell him you said hi. Tell him you had a great experience.
I will.
Tell him to book his slot because, you know, they're filling up, you know, all these guest spots, man. They fill up really quick on this show nowadays.
Remember Devin on Duck? It was like, hey, Devin, I need a possum, a venomous snake, and 2 alligators. And he would put like work gloves on and go get them.
He'd go do it, man.
Yeah.
Fucking, is he South amazing. African?
Yeah, he's one of the most talented people I've ever worked with in the industry for sure. Most versatile too. He knows everything from show creation to how to the tech specs in a camera work. So he's amazing.
Was he just a producer on Duck? How did he become?
He was a producer. Yep. Yeah, he was making the segments come together for sure. They would own episodes and then leapfrog.
Literally piece of shit together with dead stuff. Oh my god.
Yep. Oh yeah. Remember? Here's another funny story from Duck. Remember when your editing is going to be a nightmare on this? But do you remember when in the script? I don't know if you were there for this, but if you were, it was amazing. In the script, it called for, the guys want to put geese on this float that they're building for the parade, but they end up getting pissed off geese, and sorry, in the script it says they end up getting pissed off geese, and the goose chases them around while they're trying to build. Well, what you write in the script and what happens, these guys were not scared of geese. So the geese, like, we got these mean geese, and they would go running after the guys, and they just stand there, just like whack it away and be like, "Get away from me!" I'm like, "No, can you run? I'm not running from no goose, Tuck. What do you think? Like, we kill birds for a living.
Yeah, we're duck commander, damn it.
Yeah,
exactly. We're gonna run. Oh,
Or how about the
that's funny.
fainting goats that wouldn't?
Oh yeah, they would have faint.
Yeah. Willie gets a fainting goat.
It's not a fainting goat.
It's not a fainting goat. Yeah.
You got hornswoggled. Oh man,
Mhm.
it's funny. Funny down on the bayou, man. Fucking
Yeah,
Monroe.
for
And then I
sure.
think I went down there for some other show. I think I was in Monroe for another shoot, and I'm like, oh fuck, I remember this place.
Oh, really?
I remember the I think didn't the Chick-fil-A share didn't have I thought there were two Chick-fil-A's. Like one was a takeout restaurant and the other one was a sit-down restaurant. They shared the same parking lot. Right
Yeah.
next to the Waffle House.
Across the street
adjacent.
from the Raising Canes.
Yeah, Raising Cane's and then Cracker Barrel right there.
What was
That's
the
where-
name of that barbecue joint at the T, like on that main drag?
Dude.
Podnas?
That was man. That was like actually proper, Monroe.
Proper diarrhea.
I mean, dude, that's when I was back then. I was running a lot and I was trying to stay fit. And I remember I just couldn't eat out anywhere because everywhere you get a
Dude.
salad, oh, it's fried. You get this.
Well,
it's
even
fried.
our caterer. Remember our caterer was
Yeah.
like this Louisiana or this New Orleans chef who only cooked with heavy cream, butter, and lard. Like everything. It didn't matter what it was. You could have a salad and he was like, ooh, I like to put the lard on top. Lardon. Like, dude.
It was so unhealthy. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh,
Eating like a
Monroe.
psycho.
God bless it. Well, can't thank you enough for coming on the podcast and
No problem.
having a little chatter with me and talking about Days of Past and what's coming
Absolutely.
up. And I can't wait to check out that show. I'm all about the aliens, man. I'm all.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's good. You'll like it. It's,
Yeah.
compelling stories. You'll
Yeah.
like it. Yeah.
I can't wait. Well, hey Tuck, I can't thank you to everyone like Devin and anyone else that I haven't talked to in a while that said hi. And
I
dude,
will.
you're always welcome to come back on the show to chat about some more stupid shit.
I appreciate it.
Anytime we
Appreciate
get back to our channel, man. They're calling
I'll
our
go
names.
out
so-
and get some. I'll go out and have some stuff happen to me, and I'll come back in with
Yeah.
better stories.
All right, thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
You got it. Talk to you.
Later.
Bye.
Production for Donny.
Go for Donny. Locations for Donny. Go for Donny.
Habitat for Donny.
Go for Donny. Hey Donny, what the hell are they doing?